Under the cover of night, Peter, on dragon-drawn carriage, along with Otto and Ram, would begin to make their way out of the sanctuary. As Peter would work on his web shooters, preparing himself mentally for the battle ahead, knowing that the mansion would soon be under attack by Elsa, the battle hunter. He was surprised that Subaru concocted such a plan. "When Mr. Subaru came to us," Otto said, while managing the dragon-drawn carriage, "he told us about your predicament with Garfield." "Yes," Ron would say, "Garfield has shown to be rather an aggressive type. Of course, fighting him may have proved to be deadly." "You think he's really that strong?" "He is a beast-man hybrid, Peter," Ron would say. "It would be unwise to take him lightly." "So wait, you're saying that when he wakes up he's going to go on a full murderous rampage?" "Indeed." "Then we shouldn't have left him back there," Peter would say. "But we can't turn back. You said so yourself. You have to get to the mansion, don't you?" This left Peter with the impossible choice. Go to the mansion. Save Beatrice. Save Frederica, Petra. But that would mean leaving both Rem and Subaru to fight against angered Garfield. And the way everyone was describing him, he sounded like a real monster. Midway through, Peter would jump out of the carriage, Ram and Otto both being surprised by this. "Peter, what are you doing? We have to get out of the barrier." "No, you guys have to get out." "What? Mr. Peter," Otto would say, "I don't think that's a wise decision. If we don't hurry now, he's likely going to—" "I can't leave them behind. Listen, you need to get to the mansion. You'll only have 3 days from now. You've likely already lost too much time. Get to the mansion, get everyone out of there, and get back here as soon as possible." "That's what you want us to do?" Ron would say. "Yes. I don't know how you do it, but please, convince Beatrice to get out of there. Frederica and Petra too. This is the only place where they're going to be safe. And listen, stay vigilant. Don't let each other out of your sights." "I'll try to catch up as soon as I can. I promise." Peter would swing on his webs back into the sanctuary. He couldn't turn back. He couldn't leave her behind. But he knew what waited for him. It wasn't going to be easy. And sure enough, he could hear the sounds of battle. In the light of the full moon, he could see Rem, her horn from her demon form spread on her forehead. She moved gracefully in the air, narrowly avoiding the strikes of a now towering behemoth, something akin to a mutated tiger, a beast-man hybrid. "You won't get away from me, demon bitch." "I have no plans on running. I won't let you get to him." From the darkness, a metal bully club would come flying attached to a chain. It wrapped itself around the monstrous Garfield. It was Subaru. "Grr! Traitor!" "Yeah, I've been called a lot worse. Garfield, you need to get a hold of yourself!" Subaru was yanked via the chain connected to the bully club. Garfield was likely going to take his head off with a lariat, but Peter would stop it just in time. Shooting his web out to Subaru, who grabbed it immediately like a lifeline, he would pull his comrade out of the way. "And what the hell are you doing here?" "I knew I felt something familiar coming back. I never would have thought it'd be you." "Peter?" Rem would immediately rush over to him, but Garfield, breaking free of Peter's webbing, would launch himself. Peter would raise his hand as he focused a concentrated strike of wind magic, shooting it similar to a repulsor ray, the concussive force of wind shooting back at Garfield as Peter would embrace her. "I wasn't going to leave you behind. Not against him. Yeah, but we did this so you could escape, Subaru would say. You sticking around is not a good thing. So Garfield, yeah, when he found out what had happened, he absolutely lost it. I figured we were just going to have to hold him off. Once I knew that you had gotten out of the sanctuary, then I figured he might be able to calm down and take the L. But I guess I was wrong about that. You're a traitor, Subaru. A traitor to the sanctuary. That monster is not going anywhere. Monster? Pal, have you even looked in the mirror? You look like something out of the werewolf. I don't even know what that is. Garfield would stomp his foot, causing a shockwave in the ground, all three of them jumping into the air to evade his attack. In that moment, Garfield would lunge towards Peter. Peter would use his strength to try to throw him away, though he felt his wrist being grabbed tightly, one of his web shooters being broken in the process. He looked at his left hand as he had managed to kick back against Garfield. Rem, using the spiked ball and chain, would come lunging in with her attack, using the chain to whip at the back of Garfield, all while Subaru would use his bully clubs, both in hand, attempting to launch a series of coordinated strikes at the torso of the monstrous Garfield. Peter would launch Blast of Wind, lunging himself into the air once more, grabbing hold of anything he could use as a weapon, all three of them fighting for their lives against Garfield. Of course, now in this newly transformed state, his strength, senses, speed, agility, they had all been heightened to the absolute max. His monstrous form, Garfield was going to use it to wipe out everyone that had betrayed him, starting with the spider. I can smell her, all upon you. The smell of the witch, it makes me sick. Smell? What the hell was he talking about? Was he talking about the witch's scent? Of course, Peter was aware that there was some form of miasma upon him, but he didn't think that someone like Garfield could even sense it. If that was the case, then it was no wonder why he didn't trust him. But at the same time, it didn't tell the full story either. Of course, Peter knew that trying to explain his side of the story would be absolutely useless in this endeavor. Right now, he, Rem, and Subaru, the only thing they could focus on was surviving. As they made their way throughout the forest of the sanctuary, Garfield would be behind them. Peter would use his one good web shooter on the defensive, attempting to trap and bind Garfield to little avail. Both Subaru and Rem would take their respective strikes when they could, but taking him down, it seemed like it was going to be next to impossible. And the more that Garfield stayed in this state, the more he continued to lose himself, the beast side of his body beginning to take over the man. It started to get to the point where he was no longer coherent. At this rate, there won't be any part of him left to save. Subaru would go back with a flying kick, managing to land a strike at the jaw of Garfield. You guys make a plan. I'll hold him off for as long as possible. What? We're not going to... Subaru would turn back to them. It's all right. I promise. We're just going to have a little bit of deep friend bonding. And it means just a little bit of tough love. Garfield would smack his bully club against Garfield's face, the sound reverberating of metal against skull. Garfield was actually stunned, managing to draw some blood from his eye. Yeah, I can tell. You're really upset, aren't you? But You know better than anyone that I would never betray you. Come to your senses, Garfield. Look at you. You're going into a beastly rage, and for what? You don't even know him at all. The witch. I know. That power is what's kept us here for so long. I know you want to get everyone out. Believe me, I do. You think that you've been stuck here, but I've been stuck right along with you. So you're not alone. Subaru would lower his weapon as he reached his hand out to Garfield. We can end this. Come on. You're better than this, Garfield. Your parents wouldn't want this for you. Your mom wouldn't want this for you. Frederica wouldn't. Garfield grabbed him by the throat. The mentioning of his sister, his mother, the people that had abandoned him. He raised Subaru into the air and slammed him into the ground. Fine. You're not gonna listen to reason. Maybe you'll listen if I kick your ass. Shamrock! A dark cloud of smoke would form around them. Rem could sense the magic being used. He used his shadow magic, the Shamrock. He really likes spamming that technique. It's more powerful than you give it credit for. You've only seen it in its first stage. First stage. It dulls the senses, of course, but when used in its more advanced form, it can strip away the power of others. Although, it comes at a great cost. What kind of cost? One's own sanity. Inside of the dark cloud, Garfield could sense nothing. He could feel nothing, taste, touch, or hear nothing. But he felt something. His mana inside of his body. A darkness that started to reverberate within his own soul. He couldn't see, but there were a glowing pair of red horns, along with glowing red eyes. I really hate that you made me do this, Garfield, Subaru would say. Everything becomes so dark. I get scared. It's terrifying. I never thought that I would have to use this power against my own brother. But you won't listen to reason. You don't seem to understand. The only thing that you'll understand right now is power and strength. You think you can bully others to get what you want. Well, you're messing with the wrong one. You like to call me the devil of the sanctuary. I try to keep that devil in. I don't like other people to see it. But you've left me no choice. So you want the devil of the sanctuary? You've got it. I'll bring this to an end. As Peter and Rem would attempt to escape, they could hear the sounds of trees being mauled and destroyed. The sound of destruction. They could only imagine the fight that the two of them were putting up. As Peter and Rem would stop in their tracks. What happened? There's no way of knowing. But it seems like the fight is over. And who won? Like you really need to ask that. Stepping out of the darkness, slung on his shoulders, A battered, bloodied, and beaten Subaru. Barely conscious, barely clinging to life. The hulking Garfield would shrug his shoulder. Rem would immediately go to catch him, dodging a strike in the process. Subaru! Subaru! Why? Garfield! Why the hell would you do this? Wasn't he your friend? I'll keep them safe. Even if I have to kill my best friend. If you saw what I'll do to my friend, what the hell do you think I'm gonna do to you? Rem. Huh? Take Subaru back to the village. Get him medical care immediately. But Peter, what are you... Rem. I need you to listen to me. Take Subaru and make sure he's safe. Please go before I lose what little bit of sanity I have left. Rem would nod as she would leave. I hope you know it's not gonna stop. Once I'm done with you, I'm gonna rip that bitch's head off. I'd like to see you try. Peter pulled off the mask. His eyes, the bloodlust glowing within them. You so much as lay a finger on her. I'll show you what hell really feels like. You want me? You got me. The two of them would fight into the night. This was no longer a fight amongst men, a fight among monsters. Who could tear the other one apart? Peter tapped into a level of strength he never even knew he had. For every punch, every puncture, slash, rip, cut, and tear, Peter only yelled with a greater fury. Both he and Garfield, they clashed like forces of nature never before seen. The forest floor and everything around it, it was turned into utter ruin. When the fighting was all said and done, a battered, bloodied, scarred but triumphant Peter stood over the body of the monstrous Garfield. Whether or not he were alive or dead, that really didn't matter. Peter would walk back. He knew he had to save them. I can't stop. They need me. They need me. Peter would walk out of the sanctuary. His feet did not stop. Eventually, over the horizon, he would see it. He would see the mansion. As he would make his way, first looking into the mansion courtyard, he saw Otto's body. Petra, the dragon rider. They were dead. As he made his way into the building, the mansion lied eerily silent. He was too late. He knew it. As he walked through the halls of the sanctuary, eventually on the other end he saw her, Elsa. And standing next to her, a familiar face. Peter, what took you so long? Emilia, or whoever you are, I know you're not her. Aw, don't say that. I promise everything will be okay. That didn't fool you, huh? Well, was worth a shot. Emilia would morph into someone new. A man standing dressed in black. His face completely white, almost like a mask. My name is Dimitri, though to my associates, they call me the Chameleon. The man of 1,000 faces. The Chameleon. So that was the sucker's name. Elsa, dear, I do believe that he's not enthralled with my performance. Would you prefer I look like this? Turning into Rem, then Rom. Or maybe, where's that spirit girl? You know finding her will be difficult. But still, Elsa would say, pulling out her blades. Maybe we can trick her with this one. Ah, the famed Spider-Man. I've heard a lot about you, Chameleon would say. Your heroics admirable, though one of mystery. The Spider-Man. I wonder, what goes on in a head like yours? As Elsa would lunge towards him, Peter looked. To his left, he saw a doorway. He opened the door and walked inside, closing it. As Elsa would cut the door down, it was nothing more but a storage closet. Her target was gone. Peter found himself in the vanishing library. And sitting there, holding a rather familiar book, Beatrice. And just what are you doing here? Why do you wish to trouble Betty? Beatrice, why do you have that book? It's of no concern to you, Betty Mounts. Beatrice, why are you... I said it's none of your business! That book, it looks just like the gospel. Just like the one Betelgeuse uses. Why? Why, Beatrice? Why are you... Shut up, you interloper. What could you possibly know about Betty? You know nothing. Nothing at all. They will be here. We've got to go. I'm not going anywhere. Beatrice, I said I'm not going. The door would open. Dimitri and Elsa, the two of them standing together. Well, my dear, it seems we found what we've come for. Yes, the spirit girl. And our friendly neighborhood spider. Beatrice knew that Peter didn't have the strength. If he tried to fight them, it would only result in his death. I won't let it happen again. What? Glowing orbs would form around Peter. As he turned, he yelled out for Beatrice to stop, but before he could, he vanished. And where Peter ended up next, in a field of snow. What the hell? She was right there. Why, Beatrice? As he fell to his knees, he heard footsteps, small ones. There was a rabbit. The rabbit hopped forward to Peter. A rabbit in the snow? Peter reached out his hand towards it, but his spider sense was tingling. He pulled his hand back at the last moment, blood flying as he had lost his pinky finger on his right hand, because the one that took it was the rabbit. Suddenly, there were more rabbits, more and more of them. Peter saw that he was surrounded, his spider sense blaring in his head like a ringing bell. Their eyes glowed red, their mouths open, and he realized he was in danger. With what strength he had left, he used his wind mana to launch himself into the air, the horde swarming behind him. Peter would run into the forest, and the rabbit swarm would follow. He grabbed a tree branch with a spiky end. A first wave of rabbits that came, using his superior strength and speed, he would skewer them, kill them, slaughter them. They were going to kill him. No, they were going to eat him. Peter fought. He fought and fought. He fought with everything he had. But they just kept coming. Peter fought into the night. Somehow, some way, he had managed to get back to the sanctuary. But the village was quiet. No one was around. He made his way to the cottage. In doing so, he closed the door. He didn't know how long he had. Eventually, he knew they would find him. Inside of the cottage, there were no bedrooms. None that were filled anyway. The only thing he saw in the room where Roswell was a book. A gospel. The same tome that was used by Betelgeuse. When he picked it up, there was a loose piece of paper. A note. It simply said, "I hope you will do better next time. My favorite spider." It was Roswell. Peter looked out of the window. Just as he figured, they were coming. The swarm. Peter would sit in the middle of the cottage. What mana that he had remained. The swarm would surround him, gnawing and biting and making their way in. Before long, they would swarm him. They would destroy him. But if he was going to go out, he'd go out swinging, With a final push, he shot back a violent force of wind, cutting, slashing winds, concussive force. The shrapnel created from the explosion would kill a great deal of the rabbit, but the rabbit would still swarm. First an arm, and then a leg. Peter felt his body collapse. He felt in excruciating detail every bite, every nibble, his skin peeling from his flesh and bone, the marrow eaten away, his stomach cavity filled. The last thing he saw, the face of the rabbit as it opened its mouth and burrowed its way into his skull. Peter would find himself awakening in another familiar place. There was no cold, no rabbit, not even the coldness of the stone sanctuary. No, he felt himself on soft grass. Ahead, a clear blue sky and clouds that drifted in the breeze. And over ahead on the hilltop, a familiar set in display, a table, an umbrella, a tea set, and a woman, slender, dressed in black, with hair as white as snow, her eyes as black as a starless night. "Welcome back, Peter," Echidna would say. Peter looked down at his body, his suit completely restored, his mask safely tucked away in his side. He would walk over, taking a seat before the witch of greed. "Would you like a cup of tea, Peter?" "You know what?" Peter would say with a smile. "Yeah, I would." "Oh, good. I'm so glad. Not a lot of people are accepting of the tea of the witch. I do hope you're not in a hurry. I'd like for us to have a conversation." "Of course," Peter said. "I've got all the time in the world." And so would begin the witch's tea party. This concludes ReZero, The Princess and the Spire, Amazing Dawn. What if Spider-Man was in ReZero, Season 2, Part 7. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned next time as we continue with ReZero, The Princess and the Spire, Amazing Dawn. What if Spider-Man was in ReZero, Season 2, Part 8. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.